this is Mirage. Mirage makes a living as a travel writer. He loves motorcycling, golf, playing the guitar, and just bumming around. He's decided to travel for a year to find himself. About time.
This is Johan. Johan is a photographer. Johan is Swedish, but he's lived and worked in 4 continents. He's done some pretty interesting gigs along the way. Johan's current obsession is shooting astral time lapses. He plans to backpack in India for a year of travel and adventure.
Kumaon. Here we are, on top of China Peak, looking down at Naini Lake. A sea of clouds wafting and ebbing below us. It's just been a week since I left Sweden, but it seems almost like a dream. Another life now. It's hard to comprehend how travel changes us. The landscape changes outside, and with it something changes inside you. I feel very, very far from home, in more ways than just distance somehow. We didn't want to come to a regular hill station, but I really didn't want to give Nainital a complete miss. And I'm glad we didn't, just for this view. It's a fabulous town. The right mix, as it were, of a city and an outdoorsy life. Just like we like it in Sweden. Mirage doesn't know what we're doing next, and I want it to be a surprise. He knows a lot of people in these parts, but he's got no idea who Kanishka Sharma is. We're going, believe it or not, to a Shaolin dojo.
Hi Kanishka.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm doing good.
I'm Miraj.
Hi.
You obviously.
Nice to meet you, finally. Master of 7 different martial arts.
Shifu Kanishka. What is
Yeah,
Shifu?
Shifu means master.
Master.
Yeah.
Kanishka Sharma has gone to China to train in the Shaolin Temple for many years, where he got trained by Da Shifu Shi Hengjun. While he was at the temple, the head abbot, Venerable Shi Yongxin, officially adopted Kanishka as his disciple. After many tours of residence training there, they finally awarded him with the rank of master, which in the art of Shaolin is called a Shifu. After training at the Shaolin Temple, he also got trained in several other martial arts forms, and has for many years been teaching various self-defense and martial arts programs. These courses have been ranging from street survival to military police and law enforcement programs.
But which different martial arts are you actually a master in? I mean, it's 7
Shaolin,
yeah,
primary.
that's the one you're famous for.
Yeah, Shaolin and Pikiri Tertia Kali, the Filipino martial arts which I teach to the armed forces and special forces. Jeet Kune Do, which is Bruce Lee's system. Muay Thai, which is a traditional form of Muay Thai, the olden one. Wing Chun, Tai Chi.
And Wing Chun, that's Kung Fu as well?
Yeah, that's Wing Chun.
Oh, you don't know Jiu-Jitsu? You don't know Aikido? Damn, dude! I thought you guys said this guy's the master.
I suppose eight will do,
damn.
huh? Eight. I think we're gonna
Well, I
struggle
do
to find.
a Filipino version of Jiu-Jitsu. It's called Dumog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't even know what happens in Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah.
Basically, it's a karate chop, and that's it. How long have you had this place?
I took this place around 5 years back.
5 years back, huh? So it's quite recent then.
Yeah.
So how does that work? People come over then as like whole camps, or
Yeah, camps, a lot of camps. Because I've got 3 academies. One is Mumbai, one is in Hyderabad, and one is in Noida.
Right.
So people come like it's like a day
Noida?
scholar. Yeah. Noida.
Very close, very close
Is
to.
there a martial art to drive the pollution out of your lungs?
Yeah.
Because, huh?
Qigong,
Qigong.
breathing technique. Yeah.
So what made you decide for this area, like for Kumaon?
It's a no-brainer.
Well, I mean, yeah, when you see the air up there, I mean,
Yeah, I never
compared
wanted
to
next to the road.
You didn't want it,
I
obviously.
didn't want it next to the road. B, when I had gone to Shaolin for the first time, I had to walk a lot.
Yeah.
And it made me realize sort of that, you know, when you walk to something, when it's not easily accessible, you value that thing. You know? I didn't want people to come open the door of the car. Hey, that's the place I want to go.
Yeah.
I want them to walk all the way up and realize that they are going and welcome to hell.
No, seriously. That's what they say, that then what sort of quest would it be if it didn't have its share of travails, right? So, well, this is one heck of a quest. I mean, how long do there's a lot of martial arts happening here. What all is going on here?
That's Wing Chun.
Wing Chun is
yeah.
Wing Chun.
Wing Chun.
Wing Chun.
Yeah.
That's that one.
That's Wing Chun with the dummy. That's Shaolin.
Shaolin is a gentleman who looks like Shaolin. Yeah.
And they're doing Kali right now with the sticks.
Kali.
That's the Filipino one.
That's the Filipino one. Yeah.
Okay.
Basically, it deals with blades, knife, and sticks.
And the guy with thankfully the practice sword. Is that what you call it?
It's called Dao.
So when we were walking up here, we met the guys downstairs.
Yeah.
I told them this. They're looking at him, and he's got this funny Pico hat, and I'm like, this is a great warrior from Sweden. They're like, oh, he's here to fight Kanishka. I said, yes. And then he puts on this funny hat, and they're like, he looks kind of
cool.
I said, yeah. I'm like, he's a great warrior, but he has a soft temperament. He's like a true martial artist. So go for it, bro. Like, no?
I don't know if it would be much of a fight to speak of.
No, it wouldn't. Push over, bro.
Push over.
How does one get started with martial arts? Like, where do you start from? Which one would you recommend you start from? And how does one go about
See, it's like, which one would I recommend? So many people ask me this question,
No, but I suppose it has to come from within you, right?
It's within you, Like, for example, my life, the one who got me into martial art was my driver.
What's your driver?
Yeah, my driver. And he was crazy about Kung Fu. So he used to narrate me the stories of 36 Chambers of Shaolin, Mad Monkey Kung Fu. They were like Amar Chitra Katha to me.
Wow.
So then he got me these movies, and I used to play these movies and stuff. And I just got fixated with it.
Acha. I mean, all of us have watched those movies.
Yeah. And that was at the age of 8. And at that time, there were no Kung Fu teachers in India. It was more of karate, only karate. So I started with karate. I got my
you
black
started with
belt.
karate?
Yeah,
Karate is Japanese?
Yeah, Japanese. I got my black belt in karate.
Oh, how long did that take you?
5 years.
5 years from start to finish?
That's a quick black belt, huh?
No, just first dan.
Oh, first dan. There are 10
But
dans.
still, there's a lot of graduations to go through before you get a black
At that
belt.
point of time, it was white, yellow, orange, maroon, blue, brown, black.
Black first dan.
Yeah, now you get black belt in 2 years. Everything is all about scoring a point, getting a gold medal in life. That's it.
What do you think about that whole development? I mean, I suppose going very different direction than how you're approaching this.
If martial arts was known as sports, they would have named it martial sports from ages back.
Yeah.
Why call it martial arts? It's an art form. It's a way towards enlightenment by coordinating your body, mind and spirit. Everything has to be aligned together. You are exposed to violence in martial arts. But it leads towards non-violence because you know that you can hurt someone, you will never hurt him.
That's funny. My brother used to do taekwondo and he had a massive anger problem, just like I do.
Yeah.
And strangely enough, after 2 years of taekwondo, I have never seen him lose his cool again. It made him calmer rather than the other way around. He's very shant now.
Mirage wanted me to spar with Kanishka, but my knowledge of karate and jiu-jitsu is elementary at best, and I really didn't want to take a chance. Kanishka is not a man to be messed around with, even for fun. Kanishka and his students live and breathe martial arts. Next morning, they were shadowboxing and sparring just for kicks, so we asked them to give us a demonstration. Here in this remote dojo in the jungles of Pangot, listening to the hills echo with cries of "Gyai!" coming from a Shaolin warrior practicing his attacking moves has to be one of the most surreal experiences I've ever had. Mirage wanted to head straight down toward Ramgarh, but I desperately wanted one more day in the hills. I've lined up a short stop en route in Bawali village. I've been itching for something, well, a bit high octane.
Hey guys, are you ready for this adventurous trail? Totally, bro. This place is too risky. Don't hurt your knees. And be careful. Have a good day. Let's start.
Johan was keen to wrap up the trip with a couple of days at the Corbett National Park. I had a better idea. Instead of trooping around the forest reserve in a jeep, I checked in with Sumantha Ghost, a naturalist and environmentalist who runs an eco-lodge just outside the periphery of the Corbett Reserve in the rarely visited Ramgarh Tiger Reserve division. Since it's not within the reserve forest, you don't have to roam about in a jeep at Vanghat. Here, on the banks of the mighty Ramganga that still teems with the Mahasir, you can walk everywhere and experience the thrill of finding fresh paw marks on the soft sand on its banks. Vanghat isn't for the casual tourist though, involving as it does a strenuous 2-kilometer walk from the roadhead. But for those who make the effort of getting there, the experience is unparalleled for its sheer proximity to wildlife.
Welcome to Vanghat. Thank you, Sumantha. Thank you for the lovely walk. Jeez. Oh, is there any place around here that you can get to without walking through half the jungle? Oh, good boy. From Munchari to Corbett, huh?
Here we are, huh?
कुछ खिदमत करें? चाय, पानी, कॉफी, whatever.
Since Sumantha opened it in 2005, Vanghat has been hosting a small number of visitors, typically birders and wildlife enthusiasts who relish the lodge's remote location far from mobile phone networks and human inhabitation. Here, the animals and birds are at home, and we are very much the visitors. Sumantha is taking us for a walk in the forest where he's promised to give me some tips on shooting wildlife. We ford the river on this makeshift raft to the other side into a dense forest, which Sumantha says has a healthy population of tigers and elephants among other creatures. Sumantha says the walk is about 8 kilometers and we might spot some animals on the way. I just hope we spot them from a safe distance.
Nice.
And the best breakfast in the world is after a nice long walk.
Nice spot you have out here in the bush.
Yeah, it's a good spot to, while you're eating, you know,
Yeah.
I mean, have a good view, and you see a lot of wild animals as well, sort of moving around from here. So it works as an excellent vantage point, you know.
So you've seen all of the big animals just from this spot itself.
Yes, so we have seen a lot of animals, you know. We have seen usually otters and elephants crossed by.
From here, obviously, that's down by the river, you mean?
Yeah, in the water there.
Right.
Yeah.
And you can tell when they're still moving around. And we have had, you know, otter and, you know, elephant herds often.
Yeah.
We had once these two young tigers, you know, that we had going across the river.
What, at night?
You know,
or
it was in at a broad daylight.
broad daylight?
That's right. Yeah, about midday. They were both there, and they went across.
You
and,
saw them, or you like?
Yeah.
Wow.
It is a forest that belongs to the village, you know, those villages up there, the Bagroti, Barasi, Chimpani.
Oh, yeah,
So they owe this entire village, you know. So it is what, so this is what we use as, you know, as a Panchayati one, you know. So they have rights over this forest. But as you can see, you know, it's such a fine example of community conservation.
Right.
You know, the fact that we have, a camera trap picks up at least 2 tigers on a regular basis.
Wow.
You know, elephants very, very regularly. I've had a day when we had a tiger in the morning, we had a leopard later in the evening. So there is such high density on all these animals are indicating a very healthy ecosystem. You know, you pick up mountain goats, you know, gural, the goat antelope species we have here. We pick up sambar deer, we'll pick up monkeys, we'll pick up barking deer, and a porcupine, and a sirao, you know, another very nocturnal and rare
So these
goat
places
antelope.
are bang in the middle of like serious animal territory.
Yeah, exactly. So this is how India has always lived. You know, it's only now, you know, that people have now been, you know, because of reasons of from population and cultural change of late, you know. Otherwise, we have always, the word was coexistence. That's what we were known for worldwide.
What a spot, Sumantha. Like a proper watering hole, huh?
Yeah, it's a very good spot for, you know, it's quite a tucked away spot, and, you know, so a lot of animals come here to drink, and it's very quiet, so it's a wonderful place, you know.
This is awesome. You know, we were thinking of making a stop at Corbett, and we wanted to stay at Dhikala. That was the plan. But we would have been in a jeep. We would have gone to spots. Maybe we would have seen a tiger or whatever. We're not going to see one here. Probably not. I hope not. But
You don't want to see a tiger.
not on foot, bro. No, man.
For taking photos of these animals, like what do you have any tips for doing that? Because I mean, just seeing the animals, that's one thing, but then to be able to even get a chance of taking good photos, do you have any good advice? I mean, you must have had great photographers come here for that purpose, no?
Yeah, you see, I mean, what happens is now we have got very used to this, drive in a jeep, you know, and take pictures of wildlife. And I think a very non-disturbing way is to actually to be at vantage point or in a hide and let, instead of you going to wildlife, let the wildlife come to you, and then you don't, you know, and ensure that you're not disturbing them, you know. So that's a very, it's a sort of, you know, it's something that in future I'm sure will be very popular in India, you know. And
But is there a place on the way? Actually sit and Johan can set up the camera.
Yes,
and,
yes,
you know,
yeah,
we can
yeah.
maybe hope for somebody to sort of, you might get like a bird or something.
But it sounds like that's more of a waiting game compared to the, you know, Jeep Safari, where you're like trying to go out and find the animals. You're saying that it's even more, it's going to be more of a thing in the future to just sit and wait for the animals to come to you.
yeah, I think we would have had enough of the 4x4s, you know. I think this is more satisfying, you know, it's more intimate with, I mean, a one-to-one with the forest, you know. This is how we always were, you know. I think humans as a species, we were, you know, we were earthed, we were doing things on foot, but now all that has, you know, all that has ended pretty much. So there are these very rare little spots. So yeah, so you have to be careful in these areas not to disturb, so that we don't pose to be a threat in terms of disturbance to wildlife. So if we do it responsibly, you know, it's very sustainable. It's a no carbon emissions, you see.
Yeah, exactly. You want to take a dip in the animal pool?
Maybe not now. I'm sure I will come back for it, and when the tigers are here, when it's hotter in the summer, then I'll be here.
Should we find a vantage point where we can set up?
Yes, we will go up, you know, let's stop by at one of these vantage points overlooking the Ramganga. Good place for fish eagles and otters and animals pass by. Yeah.
Chalo, then, lead the way. I mean, I'd love to stay here all day.
Tiger time is approaching.
Exactly. Exactly. Whoa! Okay, it's all good. It's all good.
Oh. See, that's quite a fresh scratch marking.
Well, what is it?
So, you know, so this is what cats typically do. They would urinate, you know, she would urinate.
So when you're saying cat, you mean a tiger?
A tiger, yeah, yeah.
This is a tiger thing?
It's a big, yeah.
Oh, it's like the
really, yeah,
scratching bit.
yeah. So do the,
Sumantha's demeanor changed after he spotted the paw mark. It was obviously fresh. The big cat had passed by after we'd walked up just over an hour back. Sumantha kept an eye out after that on the entire crew. No wandering off alone into the jungle, he warned. Johan and I were a bit on edge too. This was tiger country and we were the interlopers. The fact that there could be a big cat literally meters away calmly observing us sent a chill down our spines. There's nothing to fear though, said Sumantha. The big cats avoid human beings. And there's no way you can startle one. They know exactly where you are. As if that was any consolation.
So we should keep our eyes out for like fresh scratch marks and paw
that's
marks
right,
in the
yeah,
sand
and
all these
find
things.
some good ground and look for
But
pug
don't
marks.
you guys want to do that vantage photography bit? I mean,
Yeah, that's a good idea. Maybe we should just find a vantage point and just see if we can sit in one good location for shooting and see if we can catch anything
Yeah.
from a vantage
It's
point
really
itself.
worth it.
Yeah.
yeah, it doesn't sound like very exciting to me though. I'm gonna go for a. If you see somebody like, if you see like a really large mahseer swimming past from the river down there, if you zoom in, it'll probably be this really. It'll probably be me.
Be you doing laps in the river.
Best of luck with your photography thing, and I shall see you guys back at the camp.
So right, so now we're going to go back and then we'll put up the camera trap closer to the river.
Even though we didn't see any animals, it was an invaluable experience just to understand what it takes to be a wildlife photographer. Patience is the name of the game because there are no guarantees that you'll spot something. Sumantha said that we'd have a much better chances if we took ourselves out of the equation. A camera trap.
This should be a good spot, you know, with the tree here and the trail going like that, and another trail coming like this.
Bit of an open area here,
Yeah.
so I'm sure that
So let's put it up
if
here.
anything passes here, this would be
Yeah. At
pretty
this,
ideal, huh?
yeah, at this
So
level.
then,
it's something
that camera trap, it's going to catch motion even if they're passing all the way out
That's
here?
right.
huh?
That's right.
Yeah.
Something coming from here and something passing by from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, let's set it up. Show me how this works. I've never set one of these up before.
Honestly, if I knew there were so many animals around, I would have been a bit nervous about walking around the area. Although we just caught porcupines on film, Vanghat's cameras have captured a range of the forest denizens over the years. Like Sumantha said, for every time that you see an animal in the wild, it's probably seen you 10 times. On a snowboard in Gulmarg and at the wheel of a 4-wheel drive in Ljusmarg. This Swede is on a roll.